Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Transgender women athletes from competing in women's sports in the state, and they're taking the first steps to make it a law. A special Senate committee heard from both sides of the debate at the state capitol today.
No way.
Elliot has a look.
Y'all are focusing on a problem that just really doesn't exist.
OG Equality's Noel Heatherland gave the special committee on the protection of women's sports an earful Thursday. At its third hearing, the Republican-led committee signaled it was leaning on recommending banning all transgender women from participating in women's sports in Georgia.
We've got to protect women. We've got to protect their sports. We've got to protect them in changing rooms.
But Heatherland and the other transgender community supporters testified that the ban would only hurt young people and insisted the number of transgender women athletes in Georgia is so small that this is more of a solution in search of a problem. Heatherland insists this isn't about protecting women's sports. It's about making political gains at the expense of transgender girls.
It is a problem that doesn't exist. And instead of focusing on kitchen table issues that would affect every Georgian, we're singling out a very small percentage of the population, which I believe is for political gain purposes.
Republicans have made protecting women's sports a major campaign issue, but Lisa Blankenship, whose daughter is a collegiate swimmer, says it's about fairness and athletic equity.
This isn't a transgender issue, but purely a fairness in women's sports issue. Allowing a male to compete on women's team completely devalues women and takes away their confidence and opportunities.
The committee will make its final recommendations at its next hearing. That will happen before the end of the year. In Fulton County, I'm Richard Elliott, Channel 2 Action News.
No way, bro.
Georgia not playing. Hey, what's going on, family? This is Tyler from No Picks Podcast.
What up, fam? Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Joe, what you think about what you saw? Georgia is putting their foot down.
I see. I mean, I didn't think this day would come so soon, but like we are here, bro. And you know what? Honestly, I'm for it. Like I'm listening to Shorty, and she's like, you know, honestly, this is a small small percentage of people. I feel like it's just a solution trying to find a problem. I'm like, no, put it into law, right? Because we already had so many instances where like these trans women have broken records in sports that women that I hate to say cis women, that natural born women will never be able to break, like breaking records on like squatting, bench lifting, you know, track records, like breaking these records, right? And women, natural born women will never be able to break those records again. They just can't. So once that started happening, like it only takes like a couple of those situations, bro, for me to be like, nah, just ban it. That's why I'm like, even if it was 5 trans women who did that, I don't care. They should have their own league. They should have their own league. And like we said before, bro, I don't see trans men coming out in droves to try to play in the NFL, try to play I don't see trans men coming out trying to play in male-dominated sports. I don't see that. I see the reverse, though. I do see trans women trying to get into women's sports. That, for me, is just weird, bro. I think that's really weird. So that's my first thought. I'm sorry, I said a lot, but like, where are you at, Brett?
I mean, I don't like the fact that they like when people talk about the whole like trans women issue and then like impeding on women's sports, they talk about like, well, it's only a small percentage. Okay, like even if it's one person, like this woman like dedicated her entire life to this stuff, and she her opportunity in the limelight or you know for appreciation is gone because you know this natural born male decided to transition and you know what I mean, beat this person out. And I think it's only like if people had a personal stake in it, I think those people that like advocate for it will feel differently. They would think differently. I don't have a personal stake in it, but I recognize like, hey, it's unfair. Like if I just start popping some hormones and stuff right now and go into women's boxing, like I'll probably be like, you know what I mean, ranked 3rd in the world or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's an unfair advantage, bro. Like it's I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing out the fact that it's unfair.
Right. It is unfair, bro. And even listen, so the way that they allow some of these trans athletes, like let's say trans women athletes, to get into the female leads is they have to test. I guess their test levels have to be a certain number. Like I think they test their hormonal levels. But my thing is like, even if they meet that metric, even if they meet that test number, that whatever that measurement is, you're talking about a person who was born a male, went through all of their puberty, went through most of their teenage years, already has developed that male skeletal frame, the muscles, has all of
Yeah.
that. They've already built all of that over the years, and now like at 17 or 18 or 19 they started this process of changing. But they already have reaped all the benefits, all them years of growing and going through puberty as a biological
Yeah.
male. So they still have that. That doesn't go anywhere. That doesn't just go away because decided to take some hormones, bro. Like it doesn't work that way, and that's what messes me up. And I feel like I right now don't have any personal stake, but if my daughter was to ever say play competitive basketball in high school or middle school, and there was like a trans boy just like blocking her shot and like D'ing her up and dunking on her like in the eighth
Right.
grade, like bro, I'd be tight.
Right.
I'd be
Yeah.
tight, bro. I'd be
Yeah.
ready to fight
Yeah.
for her. Like, nah, get this nigga off the court, bro. Like, nah, like, so, nah, bro. Listen, I think I do believe that for some Republicans, it's going to be kind of some political gain, right? They will get
Right.
brownie points for this. They will get more from conservatives, from people who are against, trans athletes being in like, whatever trans women being there, you'll get some political brownie points for that for sure. But I also feel like outside of that, just ban it because they're trying
Yeah.
so hard to get into these spaces. Just ban it. Just make their own leagues. Why not start your own leagues? I don't see trans people coming as a collective fighting to make their own leagues. They will do it. I mean, come on, y'all. We got the Special Olympics. We got something for everybody. I'm not saying they're special. I'm just saying like there's a space for people to compete competitively no matter what your gender or whatever your mental capabilities are. Like just go make something for your league and then compete against other trans women. Why is that so
Yeah.
hard? I don't get it, bro. Why is this so difficult, bro?
I'm with you. There's another thing about the whole trans thing that's like interesting that I've been hearing lately. Trump won the election, and he's saying, well, what the rumor is right now. I didn't see anything officially throughout like the news or whatever, but what the rumor is that he's gonna like take out trans women in the military, like medically discharge them, basically like give them like an honorable discharge, so it's not like a negative thing on their record.
Okay,
But
that's
basically kick them out
interesting.
the military.
So that one I find interesting. Like why though? Like what
Yeah,
would why that one for me? I'm just like just let them be in the
yeah,
military.
yeah. That's
Let them
the
be in the
thing. I
military.
agree. I agree with you. Like I don't really like the sports thing. I get. I think that's something you could put your foot down on and be like, bro, this is
Right,
unfair. But like the
right.
the army and like whatever military branches or whatever is like, what's the significance? If you're saying, hey, like these men are transitioning into women and they're stronger and tougher and whatever, isn't that good for, you know what I mean, the American military? So why would you want to take those people out?
Right. Absolutely. If someone has the balls or whatever their respective genitalia is to join the actual military and wants to
Right,
fight for their country, I'm like, bro, go for it.
right,
That's already courageous in and of itself. And it's like you're like, yo, why prevent them from doing that? Let them join. I
yeah,
remember when they were saying what was that? There was a bill too. Wasn't there a bill like years ago about like something that affected like gay members of the military? What was
yeah.
it?
It
It was
was
like,
like don't ask, don't tell.
oh wait, what was that about?
Yeah, there was basically like if there's a gay dude in the military, like, hey, don't say nothing, we won't ask nothing, because it was the being gay in the military was
Oh,
frowned upon.
okay, well,
But
I don't know about that. That's the thing too. Like,
yeah,
come on, bro. If members of the LGBTQ want to fight in the military, why stop them from doing it? They
yeah,
want to serve their
yeah,
country. I don't care what you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and that one I feel
I
like that's
agree.
a little bit silly. You know what I mean? And plus,
Yeah,
you're not competing against each other. You're fighting for the same cause. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, you guys are a team. You're a unit. You're not competing against them. Like, let them
Yeah,
serve, bro. Let them serve their country. So
yeah,
that one, I'm like, I don't know, Trump. You don't got that's OD. You ain't got to
yeah,
go that hard. But as far as sports, bro, I'm with it. I know it's going to be controversial. I think if Georgia is able to pass this legislation, it's going to set a precedent, and I think other probably conservative states are going to do that as well. Um, in what way do you think if like they're saying at trans people's expense? How? How is it at their expense? What are they going to lose out on?
I don't know.
Wait, what are they going to lose out on?
I don't know, bro. Like I think a lot of this stuff is just like scare tactics. Just like why they said, hey, you should vote for Kamala for this, or if you vote for Trump over Kamala, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to kill everybody. He's going to murder babies and this whatever, bro. Like I don't really get. I don't get it, bro. I don't get why they're so like negatively affected.
I don't get it either.
The only time I see it is when somebody makes the news for deceiving a guy about who they are. I see that a lot.
Right.
But I don't see people just walking around the street just looking for trans people to like victimize. I don't think that's a thing.
I'm sure some buttholes do, but like, you know, there's people who hate, you know, they're racist, they're misogynist, they're
Yeah.
misandrist. There are people of all walks of life who just have some hatred or some prejudice towards some demographic or multiple demographics, right? Like, it is what it is. Like, there are some white people who, like, you know, hate Jews and hate people who aren't like the Aryan race and think, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or so it's gonna but I have a question for you, Ty. Like, I saw something interesting a few days ago where somebody was saying that liberals are upset now, or the left is upset now, because for decades they have dominated the discourse. They've been dominating the culture, pushing their views on everyone as far as, like, you know, all the woke stuff. And now they're
Yeah.
saying, now that Trump is in office, now the conservative culture is going to be the dominant culture. Now they're going to push back, and they're going to instill some of their legislation, some of their values. They're going to push back on all this stuff that's been happening on the left. So do you think that now we're entering that era or that time, like that now conservative values or conservative culture is going to be the dominant culture, and they're going to start pushing back on like all of this like woke stuff, if you want to call it that? Do you think that's what's going to happen under Trump?
I hope.
He said, "I hope."
I hope, bro.
He said, "I hope."
Because, bro, like, listen, like, bro, the Democrats and the left have been so ridiculous for so long, and they just let it slide. They made it such a prominent perspective of their party that it's like, bro, like, y'all turned away. Like, America has always been like a middle of the road kind of country, middle to the maybe right, you know what I mean, maybe left. It's like, all right, like, I mean, you get a couple degrees either way. But like the way y'all took it was like way weirdo left stuff. And it's like, yo, like, no, everybody can't identify with what they want to identify as. Normal, regular people aren't going to fight on that on Instagram or X or YouTube or whatever. They're just going to go to the polls and vote the opposite of what you believe.
Right.
Nobody's going to risk their job and you know, offending you because, you know, everybody's so, you know what I mean, offended over everything and stuff like that. So nobody's going to say anything in public. They're just going to go in their private little circles, have conversations about it, and go to the polls and vote for Trump.
Right. No, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. And I just want to make, like, I every time we talk about this topic, I want to make it explicitly clear to our audience, to our family, like, we're we hope you believe us, but we're not transphobic. If you are trans, you can live your life as you see fit. We're talking about, you know, pushing people.
I even hate that term, Joe. I even hate that term. Who is afraid of trans people, bro? Who wakes up in the morning like, oh god, we're like, nobody like I'm afraid of spiders. I'm arachnophobic. I wake up sometimes like, oh shit, that's a spider. I jump out my bed. But nobody's afraid of trans. Y'all gotta make up another phrase, bro.
Right,
like,
so
stop.
there has to be another term, but just know that we don't take issue with people who identify as trans, right? We're talking more about changing, like, people trying to change, like, science or the English language or the use of English language. Like, when you start like pushing things into like trying to push it into the dominant culture and changing, like, just you, like, when you can't even define what a woman is, like, people who are educated, people who are in Congress, and like when we get to things like that, when we're here, when we hear things like women aren't the gatekeepers of menstruation or periods, when you're calling natural born women birthers, bleeders, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is when I'm like, y'all getting real weird. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we start getting into that, and for me, it's like, no, y'all don't get to do that. If we have to accept y'all, acceptance goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
So if I accept your views, you got to accept mine too. As long as we have respect, we're good. But I feel like that acceptance, it's never reciprocated. It's always one-sided. No.
Facts.
If you don't agree with us, then you're anti this or homo this or trans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's what deters me from it. That's what pushes me away from it. So I don't know, bro. But yeah.
Listen, let us know what y'all think, family. We don't went off on a little tangent right now, but
yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.
Until next time.